Hey everybody, I coming in a day late, sorry about that. Things got a little hectic and my normal schedule got a little screwed up, so instead of a Tuesday video, we got a Wednesday video. And today, we're doing a rose. You guys wanted it? I figured why not? Let's go ahead and do it. One disclaimer, I don't do traditional tattoos normally, so this is a little bit different for me, but I've done a few of them in the day, so I can at least draw one for you. Two, I was gonna do color, but things got weird and I didn't get a chance. Three, I planned on doing this traditionally, but again, with my schedule being really weird, it took me a minute, so I went ahead and did this in a digital format, which it's Procreate, which I like Procreate, so that's it, I guess. But I do want to talk a little bit right now about how sorry, my glasses are dirty. I've seen the digital traditional argument a lot, and excuse me, I'm not in that argument. I use both. I enjoy both, and I don't believe you should limit yourself in tools as long as you're pushing that tool. No AI. But I'm gonna keep my side of this completely unedited and live, so we're talking right now. I have the video queued up down below me, and we'll do some fancy edit magic and throw that in. But anyways, here we go. We're going to talk about a rose. So the first thing about doing trad roses is it's not a realistic rose. You don't want to think of it as realism. Normally what I do is 2 circles. That gives me kind of where everything's supposed to go. And then from there, I can start kind of doing all of the leaf placement. In the tattoo world, we like to call them cabbage roses because honestly, it looks more like a head of cabbage than a rose. But with tattooing and with doing traditional tattoo designs, especially traditional tattoo designs, you're looking more for readability than you are for realism. And as you can tell right now, it's just literally placing in petals. I always try to start in the center because that is where your eye is going to be drawn. You always want to look at where your eye is going to be drawn to. So yeah, we do the center and get everything kind of going there, and then we start kind of working on those outer flowers. Again, I'm using Procreate. Honestly, I just really like the new update. I thought it was great. It works really well because I'll be honest, I'm kind of a brush collector. So getting a ton of brushes kind of drives me insane, but at the same time I can't not have them. But what we did, also just to let you know, I did just do black and gray with lines. This was very quick, and honestly for time I probably could have sped the footage up, but I didn't want to do that for you guys. But the thing I liked about Procreate and honestly digital mediums is it's quicker. You know, we talked about the a second ago about the debate between digital and traditional mediums, and honestly I'm kind of good with both sides of it. I understand that digital mediums, some people consider it cheating. I remember a lot of guys talking about that at the beginning. Oh, hey, I was wondering where that other light was. There we go. Y'all might see me a little better now. But the thing about it is digital mediums, it's an equally different set of challenges. For me at least, and everybody's experience is different with every medium. For me, digital mediums, the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for here? The biggest challenge is the options. There are so many different options for digital medium, like all the different brushes, all the different settings, and what I've found was Procreate kind of leveled that out for me. Obviously, there's so many brushes you can make, and it gets insane. What I did was, whenever I got the new brush setup, whenever I got the new update, since all my old brushes are over there, I can still use them, but I don't need to. I can literally go through, and I'm using just the basic Procreate brushes. And honestly, right now what I'm using is just some brushes I kind of quickly put together. There's nothing fancy on them. It's just called Shit and Things. It's just something where I can sketch and potentially ink. I can even, I've got them set up to where I can, I can do some rudimentary colors, or nothing fancy, just enough to get the image down that I like. So we've moved on to the leaves. If you noticed, this is the closest part to what a realistic rose would do. If you actually look at the edge of a rose leaf, there's serrated edges on them. You want to kind of hint at that. Again, nothing fancy. These aren't made to be... Excuse me, I'm talking too much. But literally all it is just getting something down that will draw an eye. Roses are not rocket science. This is where I jump in. I'm actually using that same Shit and Things setup, This is a literally just a straight pen brush that has nothing to it. It's just a taper, no opacities, nothing. The other thing I'm doing there is, if you notice, I'm trying to find the right line size. I also move my field around a lot. I'm trying to find the right angle of attack. If you ever do pen and ink, you'll notice that there is a certain way that your hand wants to move. I'm moving my paper, I'm moving my canvas around to see where I can find that right angle of attack. What we're doing here is literally just straightforward, nothing fancy. The thing about traditional tattoos is they're deceptively simple. Straightforward is honestly a lot harder, especially in tattooing, than you'd expect. The philosophy of traditional tattoos is not to make something that takes 12 hours to tattoo. A good traditional rose at about, palm size, so 2 to 3 inches, that's going to take maybe an hour. And that's if I'm taking my time. If that's, I don't have 5 people jammed up behind me waiting on me. These are also made to be read at that big and that big, because there's not a lot of line behind it. If you ever want to design a traditional tattoo, honestly, some of the best things I've found is look at cartoons. And I'm not talking like the internet look at animated cartoons, how simple they are. Again, going back to simple is deceiving. You'd think simple is easy. Simple isn't easy. You don't have anything to hide behind. So you have to make that absolutely immaculate if you're going to do it. And that's why you practice. That's why you keep going. But if you've noticed, I'm playing with line weight. That's actually a no-no in a lot of traditional spheres. That again comes down to I'm not primarily a traditional tattoo artist. We're just getting it in, and then whenever I come in with a tattoo machine, a lot of that stuff would be kind of evened out. But note the serrated edges of the rows again. That's a big thing. Also note, like I said, I'm moving my canvas around a lot to find the right way to get into it. You don't need to keep it stiff and still. In fact, if you've watched any of me drawing, I move my paper, my canvas, whatever around a lot. That's to make sure I have a good angle of attack. That's the best way I've found to do that. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna ramble a little bit, sorry. I've got all my sketch layer out of the way. Now, obviously, anybody that does digital, you get your line layer in, and then you get your you get rid of your sketch layer to do anything else. What I'm doing now is literally just getting all of the heavy blacks in. Heavy blacks in tattooing draw attention, but also in a tattoo, simplicity and boldness are what you're going for. There's an old saying, bold will hold. When you look at tattooing as an art form, you're not looking at tattooing as, hey, we just finished it, everything's good. You have to look at that tattoo and go, how is this going to hold over time? That's why we tend to go a little bit more simple on certain things, because over time tattoos will spread a little bit. Not nearly as much as they used to. A lot of your modern traditional artists do a lot of thick lines because we don't have the technology behind tattooing now. Just has exploded over the past 20 years. We used to do a lot of these trad designs with round liners and literally 7 liners, that kind of stuff, because it allowed for that line to blossom, to kind of open up a little bit. Lines spread over time. What this does is this kind of simulates that. A lot of your trad guys now use heavier lines because they want to kind of get that look. But also it makes it bolder. Bold will hold. I hope I'm not totally butchering the idea of traditional design. If anybody does trad on the daily that's watching this video, please tell me if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. Like I said, I don't do a lot of traditional tattoos. But literally all I'm doing is I'm just trying to get in the darker areas so you can kind of see what's going on. It draws attention, detail draws the eye, but also large open patterns of black, especially on a white surface, will draw the eye. So that's all we're doing right now. It's not necessarily trying to depict this in any kind of a realistic manner. It's more about getting that rose to where when we do the shading, it looks good. A lot of that comes down to, does it look right or does it look good, but yeah, it's pretty much just that. I'm sorry I'm rambling a bit. But yeah, just trying to find all of those points where we can give it some depth without totally destroying the graphicness of the design is what I'm trying to do here. So one of the things I like about digital mediums is literally being able to color drop. You see me doing it a lot in here, and what it's allowing me to do is literally just kind of, well, if you work digital, you know, you just drop the color in. It makes it easier. And for some reason right there, my I still haven't tweaked all my pen settings, so my pen still does the undo without me thinking about it, so I need to tweak all that. I've just kind of turned it into part of the process now. When it drops, and I just keep going. But I'm also trying to show some kind of, like I said, some kind of depth with this. We're not really, again, this isn't fancy. Anybody can do this. These weren't made to be, what's the word I'm looking for here? These weren't made to be masterpieces. These were made to get in, get out, get done quickly, so the tattooer could get paid and move on to his next tattoo. You know, that's one of the things I admire about trad, or traditional Americana tattooing, is I think the overall time on the drawing of this was about 20 minutes, and that was me taking my sweet time. So now, moving over, I'm using just a brush and it's just a round brush, nothing fancy again, where I've just tweaked the opacity. I haven't tweaked any size or anything like that. I'm literally just trying to get in to where we have a little bit of a fade off. This isn't the classic watercolor spit shade. If you guys want a video of that, I can sit down and we'll drop some tattoo flash one day. But this is literally just trying to get an idea of where the values are going to be. So when I do come back in, if I wanted to come back in with color, we could come back in with color. This one I literally made where it could stand as a black and gray tattoo. I did everything in layers, and if you decide to draw a tattoo flash for your friends or whatnot, if you're doing digital files, do a line layer. Your tattooer will thank you later. Trust me, I've had to, I don't know how many times I've had to fight with digital art or just any kind of art where I'm sitting there struggling trying to find the lines. Or, you know, even just make lines out of something that doesn't have lines. But that's why anytime I draw a tattoo, anything, I always draw lines and put my lines in first. That way I can move into doing all the shading and everything later. But yeah, literally, I think at this point I decided that we were just going to say fuck it and we're doing a black and gray rose. If you guys, like I said, if y'all want me to do color later, or if you want me to do a color rose, if you want me to do one with traditional mediums, by all means, I'm 100% game. This was just a get in, get it done, get out. This would be how I would design a traditional rose for a client if I was going to have a client come in. And in fact, most of the time, a lot of this extra stuff I don't even do. I literally just draw the line art, and then we go in and we tattoo it. So this is a little extra from what I would do for a normal tattoo. Some artists go they'll produce a full-on finished painting for their clients. I ain't that fancy. You know, I've worked in too many street shops. It's literally just get something drawn for your clients so you can move on to the next piece of art. Fortunately, I'm in that point in my career where I don't have to do that anymore. But if you're a young tattooer, go that extra mile if you want to. But It's not always necessary. If your clients trust you, they'll let you kind of do what you need to do to make sure you get the best tattoo you can give them. If you're a tattooer following my channel, if you have any questions, or if you're telling, if you want to just go, dude, that's absolute bullshit, tell me. Cool. I'll definitely, we can discuss it. But yeah, literally, we're just trying to get a black and gray trad rose kind of put together now. And as you can tell, we keep going back and just kind of giving a little bit of a fade. I'm not trying to make this perfect. I don't want perfection in my art. I would prefer perfection in my tattoos, because you guys really, if you've gotten a tattoo from me, I'm always going to do the best I can do for you at any given moment. But this is a prelim. This, if anything, this would be a shade guide. This would give me an idea of where my light source could be coming from. This could be just, how can we make this look bold and show, hey, this is a rose. That's why, if you notice, there's spots where I'm not shading at all. I'm building up around it. That gives you an idea of what's going where. But it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. Again, God, I am rambling a lot. I appreciate you guys if you're staying this long. But, no, that's where I was trying to close that. Anyways, yeah, that's where the screen recording went. Anyways, here's the final product. I hope you guys really liked what I did. And yep, I'm being cute and writing thank you there for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry it came out so late. If you guys stayed till the end, tell me what your favorite tattoo design is. Anyways, I'm gonna get off of here. I actually have to go to work today. I'll just say, as always, embrace the suck, make bad art, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.